what about the integrity of the processes put in place during coronavirus?
Well, what we had there were processes which were excessive. We borrowed from the communist Chinese the lockdown, turning down, closing all sorts of mainly small businesses all over the country, which were completely unnecessary, because you didn't need that sort of draconian measures.
But there was no scrutiny of these decisions. Parliaments didn't sit. I mean...
Oh, exactly. Normally, that sort of regulatory making power used to, at least in colonial times, it used to go before the Executive Council, and then it would be referred, after the regulation was made, it would be referred to both Houses of Parliament.
Yeah.
And it would be open to either house to disallow the regulation.
Yep.
That disappeared completely.
Nothing.
They've removed a lot of these from the supervisory role of the two houses. And quite often, in some states, the two houses weren't sitting because of the virus, although they could have sat by Zoom and so on.
But when people are arrested for sitting on a park bench, I mean, a woman actually protesting in her own house, sending a text message, a pregnant woman, she's arrested for daring to question some of the decisions by the Andrews government. Just moving on from there about integrity. The government, for example, Labor government, banned the live cattle trade. Integrity? Who was answerable? The Labor government decision was found at law to be invalid, so the taxpayer forked out compensation.
Yes, and it took about 10 years for that case to come up before the judge. And as you quite rightly say, the judge is working out the damages, which will be substantial. It won't be the minister who will pay anything.
No.
There should be a criminal offence of serious misfeasance in public office.
Absolutely.
So that there's some liability on the part of ministers who abuse their powers.
They arbitrarily exercise power and damage individuals' lives and well-being. Now, your particular concern, the determination with Labor to turn Australia into a republic under the system of a constitutional monarchy, a Prime Minister like Gough Whitlam, was prevented from breaching the Constitution. Now, if integrity is to be preserved, shouldn't the matter of a republic be determined by referendum?
It certainly should be determined by referendum. There are people who propose it being done through the back door. One Labor MP, presumably with some of the support in his party, proposes that the law of succession be changed so that the Queen be succeeded by King Rudd or King Turnbull or somebody like that, which is a ridiculous suggestion. But the other thing that the Labor Party is going to do is to have a minister for the Republic. Once Mr Albanese gets in, one of his minister's roles will be to be undermining the Constitution, which is an extraordinary proposition, given that the Constitution says that the government is there to maintain and execute the Constitution and the laws of the Commonwealth. How can you maintain the Constitution if you have a whole government department with all the money a government department has, all of those various people that they employ, consultants and so on, to campaign against an institution within the Constitution which they want to get rid of? And the model which is being proposed is a model whereby the president would be stripped of the reserve powers. Those are the powers that Sir John Kerr used against Gough Whitlam.